By the end of this video, you will be able to answer the following points. Welcome to the show. This is the final of the Lindores Abbey Rapid. Nakamura is leading 2-0 at the moment. Dubov needs to make a comeback. And this is game 3. First up, a player introduction. Dubov is 24. Russian, world number 12 in Rapid, with a rating of 2770. Nakamura, he's 32. American, world number 4 in Rapid, with a rating of 2829. Dubov has white, Nakamura has black. The game began. c4, e5. We have the English opening. Knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, knight c6, g3, d5. Striking in the center, and after take, bishop g2. Black has to make a decision on the knight, so he plays knight b6. If you know this opening trap, then feel free to fast forward. But if this is new for you, then stick around. Bishop e7 is not a good move because it loses a pawn. White has a nice opening trap, knight takes e5. And the knight is being attacked by the knight and the bishop. Knight takes c3, and the key move here is bishop takes c6 check, the intermezzo. Because after taking the bishop, you can take back with the d pawn. To be accurate, you don't want the black queen coming into d5. For example, if you played b takes c3, then queen d5, and black is okay after knight f3, this bishop can come to h3, stopping white castling. That's why in this position, knight b6 was played. By the way, bishop c5 is a line that is being played at the highest level. And here, the best move, white should just castle. Knight takes e5 doesn't actually work here because of knight takes c3. Now if we do the same thing, bishop takes c6 check, the intermezzo, the in-between move, after you take, and then if you take back with the d pawn, then this bishop on c5 is useful. It can take on f2 with check. You swap the queens off and then you've got your pawn back. That's why here, white can play b takes c3, and after queen d5, knight f3, bishop h3, just like before, I think black's doing okay. Now back to the game. Bishop g2, that's why the knight has to move again to b6. Castle, bishop e7 and a3, getting ready to get space on the queen side. This is what happens in the English opening. Another option is just to play b3, and after castle, bishop b2. Rook c1 is next, and white can go d3 or d4, just a completely different line. However, in this game, Dubov played a3, and after castle, b4. Bishop e6 and rook b1. Now b5 is a threat. Rook b1 looks a bit strange, but I just want to show you why it is played. If you play b5 straight away, after knight d4, the knight can actually come into b3. So here, if you kick it away, this is a blunder because bishop b3 and white is in big trouble. You move the queen, knight c2, and black will be up a rook. Now b5, knight d4, white can just play rook b1, just transposing to the game. Another option here is d3. You control the c4 square. The bishop now has two options. It can go to b2 or to e3. In the game, rook b1 played. Nakamura now defends his center with f6. Black has a very healthy position. After f6, white played b5 in the game. An opening novelty here is d4. So check it out in more detail after the game. This move has never been played, and just because it's an opening novelty doesn't mean it's good. I just want to show you one line where white might get a good position. If you take, then knight b5. This is the point. Because I was thinking, why not white can just free his position. So you can go knight b5 and get his pawn back. So you throw it in, take, bishop f5, trying to get the pawn. But this is no good because queen b3 check, king h8 and bishop e3. And the white knight can come back to d4. But in this game, Dubov played b5, knight d4 and now e3. Knight takes f3 check, bishop takes f3. And here I found it very strange black played rook b8. The knight on b6 is doing nothing, so why not just bring the knight back to the center with knight d5. So let's just have a look at this for a bit. Knight takes d5, bishop takes d5, and white has a few options here. He can go a4 and then d4. If you go d4 now, black can push with e4, and then maybe white can tuck the bishop back to e2 or to g2. If you go a4, it can be similar to the game. It's just black hasn't wasted a move with rook b8. Back to the game, rook b8 played. d4, take, take. Now white has chances on the e-file and the usual option of marching the queenside pawns with a4 and then a5. Queen d7 played. Rook e1 played. Now here, knight d5 doesn't work because white can win a lot of material here, starting with queen e2. The best move is knight takes c3, but just to show you what happens if you play bishop f7, we can take, 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 and then take on e7. So if black takes the knight, then queen takes bishop check, rook b3, knight a4, and this knight is just offside. White is much better. Back to the game, queen d7 played, and rook e1. Rook e8, a4, bishop f7. Same problem here once again. It's like black really should have got knight d5 in straight away. Now it doesn't work here because white has a really nice tactic using this diagonal. White gets rid of the defender with rook takes bishop, and after knight takes knight, I think two moves win here. So just want to show you queen b3. If you take the rook, then rook takes e7, check, winning the queen. If you do it the other way around, still works. Rook takes e7. Rook takes queen b3 check, picking it up. That's why Nakamura got out the way with bishop f7. a5, knight d5. And this knight is very strong, so we take it off. If you wanted to keep knights on, that's not a good decision, because you can't really come into c5 because black can play b6 and f5 later to kick it away. Dubov chooses to take off knights. Take, take, and bishop f4. White is progressing in the center and on the queen side. Rook c8 played, ready to play c6, and bishop g4, an excellent move. Now white will get a square to work with. This bishop is attacking the queen and therefore the rook. So black has to play f5 to kick it away, but now white has a purpose to control the e5 square. Bishop h5 played. A previous high-level game, bishop f3, was between Boris Gelfand and Roman Eduard at the European Team Championships. However, in this game, bishop h5 played. Rook d8, f3. Just want to show you what happens if g6. Well, there are a few holes around the black king. The dark squares are a bit weak. This was Dubov's idea, so let's just tuck it back, and after bishop f6, let's put the bishop in, and after king g7, we can leave it here. Perhaps with one more move, queen d3, placing the queen very well in the center. It has the option to shuffle over to c3, and it's controlling both bishops. Back to the game, rook d8 played. Bishop f3, and bishop f8 chosen by black. More logical would have been bishop f6. It looks like it's doing something useful, but that's okay. White's bishop is coming in anyway. And after take-take, Nakamura didn't really like this exchange, because it looks like you have to take-take, and the f5 and the b7 pawns are hanging. So if you play queen takes d4, then white has the chance to play rook f5, and then there's still pressure here. And I think white's major pieces are better than black's. So back to the game, bishop f8 played by black, and bishop e5. Dubov is in. If we compare the pieces, white has got his queenside majority going. He's got 2 against 3, but he's ready to advance. So let's see what happens. Black stops the advance. b6, and after take, c takes b6 was chosen by Hikaru. And in the interview, Hikaru said, "This is just insane for me to take with the a-pawn. From the match standpoint, this is a huge mistake." Really, he should just take with the a-pawn. And he is worse here, but at least the game will be a lot closer. Back to the game, c takes b6, this is a blunder. Bishop takes d5, check. Queen takes d5. Queen a4, defends b5 and attacks a7. Now, why defend b5? Well, you'll see very soon. Rook d7, defending, and rook c1, so freeing up the b1 rook. Rook d8 and rook c6. This is the entry square, and this is why white has made a lot of progress. The key entry squares in this game has been e5 and c6. f4. Hikaru said, this is terrible, I forgot he could just bring his rook to g3. So what does he mean? In the game, Dubov took with the g-pawn, and Hikaru changed his mind, he played bishop d6. But this is what he was originally thinking, queen f3, but it just doesn't work. Because rook e3, queen g4, and rook g3 is what Hikaru missed. So, Hikaru changed his mind, bishop d6. White is a pawn up, so he trades queen. With queen c4, take, take. Take, take, rook d4. Queens and bishops have come off, it's a rook ending now. So let's see how Dubov finishes off. Rook c1, h5, king g2, king h7, take, take. 5 versus 4. White's pawns are further advanced, especially the e5 pawn. This is going to go to e6 very soon. Also, white's b5 pawn is restricting black's majority. King f3, rook d5, let's push. King g6, rook e1, rook d8, but we can push again. e7, rook e8. Black is going to win the pawn back, but white will win the pawn ending. Rook e5. Planning f5 check and king f4. But king f6, king e4, and black now took, leading to a lost pawn ending. Because after take, take, white can come in. King f5, and in this position, there's nothing you can do here. If you go king f7, then king g5. If you go g6, f5, and that's it. Take, take. This king will come back. With this victory, Dubov has got a point on the scoreboard. Nakamura is leading 2-1. The last game is over now, and that was a draw. So Nakamura takes the first match, 2.5, 1.5. Tomorrow will be match 2. Thanks for watching until the end. Here are all the key points. My favourite one was looking for the entry squares. Bishop g4 was an excellent move by Daniil Dubov because black had to play f5. The key entry squares in this game were e5 and c6. In the endgame, it was a precise finish in a pawn endgame by Dubov. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoy this new video format. If you enjoyed the show, why not give it a like and subscribe to the channel at the same time. Don't forget to hit that bell to get notified each time I release a new video. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching.